The First Coast's most accurate forecast from the First Coast News Weather Team, certified by Weather Rate, sponsored by AC Designs.
Bennett, and we're coming on here to talk about these severe weather now moving across the First Coast. Of course, today is a weather impact alert day, and starting right at 2 o'clock to about 6 o'clock, we anticipated some rough weather here in our area, and we're seeing that now. Actually, this cell, which is now moving into Duval County, it's technically until 3:15 p.m. for Baker, Duval, and Nassau County. Looks like it was actually just reissued here. And let's actually read off. I'll get you the latest information on this guy. Saying about 3/4 of an inch hail possible within it. 60-mile-per-hour winds. We have a pretty decent little gust front kind of kicking out ahead of it. So for those, let's zoom right in. If you're watching this from the Jacksonville area or from anywhere else, and if you're watching on some of our streaming services, please do comment. Let me know where exactly you're watching from on Facebook or YouTube, but your location, of course, and around Jacksonville here. South of Baldwin, though, this is where you're kind of just starting to see this move right across 301. And in fact, I'll try to find some cameras out towards the 301 area here. Let me try to pull that up real fast for you. See this go. Okay, it's going to load up for me. But, yeah, because this is running right up the road there. Of course, we're going to not quite towards the evening commute just yet, but this naturally is going to be slowing things down on the roadways out here. Really can't, pretty obvious, right? Trying to pull up some of these shots out of the 301 area. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. So actually, I'll pull up a cam shot over downtown here. I just want to give you an idea of what it looks like outside. And in fact, we'll just we'll look at right over downtown. Put that up on your screen here. As these storms start to move in closer towards the city here. And let's jump this over. Here we go. Apologize, I'm talking out loud here on some of this stuff. But number one thing is trying to keep you informed, give you a look outside here as this cell kind of pushes on through. Remember, this is all a part of this just kind of broader view. If we pull back the picture here across the southeast, this is all trailing in behind this area of low pressure. Did have a low chance of tropical development off of the Carolina coastline. Now, that thing is completely weakened. I'm trying to, everything is almost kind of glitching on the computer here with me, so please bear with me. Let's pull back the picture here and give you a good idea. So that area still moving off towards the north, and that was, had a very low chance of tropical development. Pulling away, and what we're seeing is kind of that moisture flow getting pulled in behind it. So tropical moisture, but obviously not a full-on tropical system. It's this moisture flow coming in out of the Gulf that's really just bringing that instability across our atmosphere. You got all that moisture. We had some daytime heating, temperatures getting up into the lower 90s today. Naturally, in response to all that, and a bit of a sea breeze actually set up. We're seeing that collision of the sea breeze and that southwesterly flow right now, flaring up these thunderstorms. And thus, that severe thunderstorm warning now until 3:15 p.m. for Baker, Duval, and southern areas of Nassau County as it pushes on by. So let me take a look and see if we got some questions, comments, or anything like that. Like Andrew saying, what about St. John's? Or Raquel is on the west side there. And then Michelle from St. Petersburg just jumping in. Thank you very much for stopping by and checking out our stream here. So let's talk about St. John's County, because this current one we're watching right now does look like it's going to push just north of there. But you see what the worry is. Let me try to pull up the chat here. I'm trying to look at a few things at once. So my concern, not so much of a worry, but kind of a concern, is whenever you see these storms right here, and we're still kind of looking at a bit of a sea breeze coming in off of the coast. If you get outflow, so this severe weather over Duval County is going to start to collapse. So that's going to start to outflow, push that cooler air out, and that could collide with the weak sea breeze, and thus it's really this area right in here where we are going to be looking at, over the course of the next hour, some additional strong thunderstorms flaring up because of that collision from that flow from the west and a little bit of a sea breeze there kind of hitting each other. So yeah, let's see. So western Duval, over the next 5 minutes. So for those of you who are just chiming in right now, is probably going to be the spot we're going to see some gusty conditions, maybe up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. In fact, take a look at this. Here's our flow, or the velocity. And this is the leading edge of that gust front coming just south of Baldwin out of Baker County. Wow, look at that. Nearly 60 miles per hour. In fact, one of the photographers who I believe is going to be driving the Protector here this evening, Adrian, you just walked in. Was that Adrian who just walked in?
Yes.
So, Adrian, are you looking for a place to go with the Protector right now? Drive west on I-10, or maybe... Because if you just head west on I-10 right now, you're probably going to drive right into it. This is just south of Baldwin on 301. They got some 60-mile-per-hour winds being estimated on radar right now. So that's all. So let's put this on a loop over the last hour so you can get an idea of where this wind is going. And you see how it just kind of pops up so we get the track on it. So running over I-10 off towards the north side here, Normandy, about 320. West Jacksonville, I had somebody just jump on from West Jacksonville, said they're watching this at 328. So this is moving towards the north. I think it's going to be even a less time than that, to be honest with you. It's moving towards the northeast at a pretty decent pace. I'm going to retime this out just if I can. Or not. The thing, of course, froze on me just a little bit here. But point is, moving towards the northeast at a quick pace. Baldwin, Otis, West Jacksonville all kind of get into the on the mix on this here. Let's actually take a look at the severe thunderstorm. Goodness. I really have to double check this connection. It is jumping all over the place on me. But this is actually indicating those gusty conditions, even a little bit of hail maybe coming in out of this. And one more time. All right. Got a lot of stuff happening on radar right now because we're watching this one, which is just running up 228 here. So Cecil's going to be getting in on this in the next few minutes. Remember, south of Baldwin, so running up I-10. And really, West Jacksonville is probably going to get on this severe thunderstorm here in the next half hour as well. I can mention once again another 15 minutes. This area is in the polygon under that severe thunderstorm warning, primarily because of that gust front. As indicated on velocity here, we're seeing upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So it's going to be that initializing kind of outflow out ahead of this. And let's try once again to pull up some good camera angles here. Because, of course, if we're looking towards the west from downtown, this is what it looks like right now. It's pretty rough. We got that rain shaft off in the distance there. Let's pull this back, and we're going to go to these shots. Just over I-10, where some of the heaviest of this should be right now. It looks like traffic actually starting to back up out there because of that. So if you got anybody running up I-10 right now, they're going to be driving right into the kind of this storm here. I think my camera just died as well, Bella. So we can go full screen. It's all right. So, this is right on I-10 where kind of the leading edge of this weather's working through right now. Very obviously, a wind shaking at the trees blowing out there because on radar it is being estimated, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Also, what we're watching is even offshore, there's that potential of a water spout. I want to pull back the picture here with this overall southwesterly flow. Of course, we're watching the south moving out of Baker County into western areas of Duval County. But I want to pull back, and we're going to look just east of St. Johns County because there's a sellout here that looks kind of interesting. Look at that off of Flagler. Let's pull up velocity on this. National Weather Service saying, there could be a bit of a water spout associated with this one. Let's see. 10 miles east of not St. Simons. I'm looking at the wrong storm. Y'all are coming together here. St. Simons. Oh, that looks a lot more like it. There we go. So look at that east of Brunswick, east of St. Simons Island. Now, the good news, this is out over water right now, so nothing to be too concerned about unless you are a boater. But if this was over land, this would be would be a tornado warning cell if it was over land. The good news, it is moving towards the north and east out to sea, but basically due east. So if you're on Jekyll Island or St. Simons Island and you're in the clear there, let's actually see where what the radar looks like in there, because you might actually be, yeah, see, look, you're kind of like St. Simon's Island's kind of in the clear, but this storm is basically due east of you. You could probably go outside and maybe see the rotation of this cell offshore, because it's only about 5 to 10 miles offshore, so pretty visible here. So yeah, I'm not saying run out in a storm right now, but if it's clear and you got a good visual on it, once again, that is east of St. Simon's Island, about 10 miles offshore, but it does look like velocity at this time is saying a bit of rotation there. Let's go here one more time. There's your velocity. Yeah, so if this was over land, it would probably be a tornado warning cell. I'm going to go back and answer a couple more of you guys' question, but once again, if you're jumping on right now, on FCN Plus, on our YouTube or on our Facebook page, we are monitoring a severe thunderstorm warned area. Now, just right up 301's passing south of Baldwin, but this is going to be moving right over Cecil here in just a few moments. Then crossing I-10, west side of Jacksonville here, basically western areas of Duval County, going to be looking at the potential for some large hail, but mainly these straight line winds upwards of 50 to 60 potentially miles per hour. Let's read some of your questions though. Hey, thanks for everybody for jumping in. Actually, I do got a lot on Facebook right now, so shout out to everybody. How long do you think this will last in the Riverside, Avondale area? Well, you know, right now in Riverside, you can see you're starting to get kind of these little shots of rain out ahead of it. The big stuff is coming up the pipe here, and at the very least, I mean, at the 3:30, 4 o'clock, this next cell will be passing by, but you're still going to be looking at more kind of trailing in over the next few hours. But the current cell kind of heading your way to Riverside is going to be there in the next about 20 minutes. But then it's going to linger around for, half an hour, 45 minutes. And when we still got more stuff kind of kicking in right behind it, and we can pull back the picture and give you a good view of what the overall kind of First Coast looks like, because this isn't the only cell. Got plenty of other cells kind of kicking on by. But Riverside, you're going to get on it. Nassau County as well. Nassau, actually, you know what? And you can see it right here on this picture for Nassau County, just north of Jacksonville. Look at this cell that is over Fernandina, that the one that we were just talking about that was creating that water spout or likely water spout off of Brunswick. See the whole line, and you see how that extends just towards the radar site out here. Over at Jacksonville Airport. What the concern is? You see the sea breeze. You see that line right there? It's passing. It's like that skinny line right at the end of the arrows. That is the leading edge of the sea breeze. Then you're getting the outflow from these storms, and that naturally, the two outflows are going to hit each other and create uplift. So that creates that instability. So for including Nassau County. So if you're like in Yulee or anything like that, and even Fernandina Beach, I expect you to get some pretty decent storms here in the next half hour or so, just because of the outflow coming from these storms and the sea breeze kind of hitting each other. So there's multiple things kind of going on there right now. Of course, all eyes right now are on the severe thunderstorm warning that we're tracking, moving through western areas of Duval County. That was your velocity. So there's no rotation on this, and often we show velocity. We're talking about rotation with tornadoes. This is more about the straight line winds, which based on the satellite, just a few minutes ago, not satellite, radar estimate, excuse me. Even now, I just clicked there south of Baldwin. The radar estimate is about 50 to 65 or 60 miles per hour. I got 55 right there. So, that's enough to cause some damage. Thus, that's why we have that severe thunderstorm warning in place, right? Duh. All right, let's go back to reading some of your comments here. Send it my way to Mandarin. Mandarin's probably going to get on some of this too. The bottom side of the severe thunderstorm warning, at the very least, Carolyn jumped on here and said, Andra's on the north side, so thanks for sharing the video. Lisa out of Ponte Vedra. Ponte Vedra, I believe, is going to be another hour or so, but I do believe you're going to get in the storms because of that sea breeze and kind of outflow interaction I was just talking about a few minutes ago, that we're going to see these cells develop more than likely southern areas of Duval, closer to the river, but the general flow is going to push out towards Ponte Vedra. So hopefully by the time it gets into your neighborhood, it does kind of weaken out a little bit there. Kenny out of Elkton, I believe you're going to get in some of this too here as well. You just kind of have that whole flow coming in from the west. Let's see, Kathy out of Oakleaf. Yeah, actually, Oakleaf's going to be getting it here pretty soon, too. We'll jump over and just zoom in on the radar here for the Oakleaf area. And I specifically call that out because you can see you are just. Okay, here we go. Got to hit the right button. There, now I can zoom in. Oakleaf is just on the edge of getting some of these heavier showers. But look just towards the west. See, this is where you kind of have that outflow. You have those winds picking up here. And that's where even Oakleaf, you're just on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning. So you could be seeing those winds upwards of 50 to 60 miles per hour. In fact, I mean, if I'd had an umbrella outside, or a trampoline outside, I'd be tying that down right about now. Just in case something gets tossed here. It's kind of that type of outflow, gusty wind situation here. Let's read a couple more of your questions here. Any news on the storms near the southeast quarter near the IKEA? So you're talking about just outside of the St. John's Town Center. And yeah, I mean, you're going to get in those storms too. I'm going to scoot this radar over just a little bit here. So if you're talking about IKEA, so around 295, my camera just went down again as well. Sorry, guys. I don't know if you, oh, there we go. Good. Yeah. So right now you're dry and you're going to be for probably another hour or so, but you can just see the general flow of where these storms are coming from, right? Let's give you a nice little timeline here of these going from west to east. So heading out towards, places like St. John's. So that says about 3:30, so about 20 minutes. The St. John's Town Center area. Mandarin at about 3:27. We have somebody just asking about the Mandarin area here. And then over towards Durban about 3:46. Do remember, though, this is going to start hit up with the sea breeze a little bit, so it may slow down just a little. But, yeah, I do anticipate for the St. John's Town Center area, you're going to be getting in on some of that rainfall, too. Just checking my phone real quick because I got some updates here. That severe thunderstorm warning has been expanded all the way to the beaches, and we are also putting a possible tornado tag on this. So it is not a tornado warning, but there is that potential here. I know that sounds a little silly, but so we're seeing ingredients pretty much in the atmosphere, according to the Jacksonville National Weather Service, that says there could be some broad rotation, but it's not definite, so we don't want to kind of put out a warning if we're not 100% on it. But remember that tornado, the EF0 that hit St. Johns County last Thursday? That was not a tornado warned cell. It was a severe thunderstorm warning with a potential tornado tag on it. So just something to keep in mind. And I think the big concern right now is not so much broad rotation in the cell at this point, but this is heading towards the east and likely is going to start to interact with that sea breeze. And when you get that, you could get some quick spin ups and maybe a little bit of some rotation here. I just keep checking my phone. That's what I'm looking at here offside, just getting the latest information here. In fact, just read it off real quick here for you. If you're jumping in, right now, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning all the way out towards our coastal areas due to this storm that's moving over western areas of Duval right now. That's going to start to work its way towards the coast, hit up with that sea breeze. So a good portion, yeah, including downtown Jacksonville, are looking at this storm that could produce 60-mile-per-hour winds. Stuff like damage to the roof, sidings, as just mentioned, trampoline a second ago, lawn furniture. You want to be picking that up out here. And also remain on alert, and I think this is the most notable thing in this, is remain on alert for possible tornadoes as they could develop quickly in this type of situation. It would be more of like those rain-wrapped EF0 type things like we seen last Thursday out there in Duval County, but a tornado warning nonetheless. So not tornado warning, a possible tornado nonetheless, severe thunderstorm warning. I got to make sure I clarify this. I don't want you all saying giving the wrong information here. So let's jump over and answer a couple more of your questions. Eric said we got it now, just started. Thanks for jumping in. What about Jacksonville? Jacksonville under a severe thunderstorm warning now until 3:30 p.m. We can actually take a look over downtown. Let's grab our camera. Pardon me. I'm going to grab a camera from downtown Jacksonville and just kind of take a look out here. See what it looks like. Because here we go. All right, so this is what it looks like right now, looking west of downtown. So for those that are in downtown or around the city, of course, we are going to be looking at this rain really picking up here in the next few minutes. Here's a live look. I want to get a good view of this because we can probably see that shelf cloud. Yeah, you can see kind of the leading edge of that, the rain curtain behind it here. Let's continue looking around. Let's see where this cell is right now. Okay. All right. It's really getting heavy on I-10 area. I mean, this is 301 right now. Yeah, the rain really coming down out there. And this is within the well, let's hope this plays out for me. There we go. This is within that severe thunderstorm warning. So very unpleasant, obviously. Good news. You don't have a lot of cars out there. But where I'm going to go next is check out our tower camera. So you can ride along with me as we try to figure out where I want to point this thing. Oh, yeah, look at those. Yeah, this is where you're estimated those winds about 40, 60 miles per hour. So I'm going to swing this camera around with you, though. So while I'm swinging it around, if you're just jumping on the stream right now, let me know where you're watching from. And give me an idea of what the conditions are in your neighborhood right now as we track this severe thunderstorm that's moving. So that's the tower right there. I do apologize. It's I have to kind of look around it. Yeah, so that's looking out. Actually, I can kind of see where the St. John's, right along the St. John's River here, that heavy rain band pushing through. But I'm going to keep this angle right on there. We'll go back to our radar, and we'll come back to that in just a few minutes here. So, of course, remember, jumping in for the severe thunderstorm warning that has a potential tornado tag on it. All part of just this influx of moisture coming in on the backside of this tropical area we were watching yesterday. We had that weather impact alert in place yesterday and today. This area actually had a low chance of development at one point off the coast of Carolinas. Now it's moving off towards the north, so no worries for us. But what happened is what we call a wake trough. So this just ushered in that tropical moisture, kind of pushed away the high pressure, and thus just lined up instability. And even though the area of low pressure is moving away, we just have a very unstable atmosphere out here today. And thus, that's why we put out the weather impact alert for today, because of that chance of not only severe weather, but scattered showers and thunderstorms just in time for your evening commute. So let's zoom right in on this. And of course, here's our severe thunderstorm warning that is still going till 3:30 p.m. now. So we got another 15 minutes on it. Now, it is tagged. When we say tag, it means it's not a tornado warning, but in like the description, saying keep an eye out for a potential tornado. And the main reason I believe for that is because we have the sea breeze kind of cruising in. And you can even see that here. If we look closely at the radar, look at where Mayport is. And you see this kind of green line. I'm drawing right along it. See to the left of the yellow line, you have that green line. That is an indicator for us by looking at the radar that the sea breeze is marching its way from east to west here. So that's going to start to collide with this, and I do believe we're going to get some extra uplift and thus that severe thunderstorm warning. In fact, I do believe, we were looking at our camera. I want to see what the camera at Fort Caroline is. So if you all know the area here, Fort Caroline is located just kind of southeast of that 290, just east of the Dames Point Bridge. So right in there, it's about where the sea breeze is running over, and you have that storm that's firing up just over the Dames Point Bridge. So this is what it looks like there right now, looking off towards the north. So here we go. So on the right side of the screen, yeah, you can see that cell, kind of the rain shaft working its way on through, and this is all part of those gusty conditions. My camera just not working here today. I don't know if the battery's dead on it or what, but it just keeps going up and down. You're doing a good job, though. Oh, it's Toby in here now. Hi, Toby.
Hi, Robert.
Toby behind the scenes. She just came in, and we're doing. Thank you very much. Just trying to pull up fantastic. Just trying to pull up a camera over the Dames Point Bridge right now because I'm sure that the angle there is going to be looking pretty rough with these storms. And while that's popping up, let's answer a couple more of your questions here. I'm reading a lot of these off of Facebook. So I got a severe weather chaser. Hey, severe weather chaser, watching from DuPont, Georgia, in Clinch County. Says that they got some rain showers going down out there. Zandy says raining and thundering in Fernandina Beach. That is that line ahead of this severe thunderstorm warning, but just south of where we were talking about that potential offshore water spout there. McClenny, Melody's watching from. Thank you very much, Melody. No, you just had this storm kind of run over your area. Normandy and Chaffee seeing some heavy rain right now, and then you got Kelly out of Green Cove Springs, says it's thundering out there for you. You're kind of right around the where that severe thunderstorm warned area is on top of that. And in fact, let's go back to it. So we got a couple areas here. Green Cove Springs, you're just, actually I should say you're south of that. You're just right on the south of it. Pardon me. I said you were warned. You weren't. Green Cove Springs, you're just on the kind of the bottom edge of this. But don't worry, you're going to get some rain at the very least with it. But let's zoom in. Here you go. Just over downtown, I'm actually starting to hear the rain fall on the our roof here at our studios downtown for First Coast News. But yeah, there's your severe thunderstorm warned area moving towards the east. About 40 miles per hour, but there's those estimated winds based on radar that could be up to 60. I mean, we got some reports of some gusty conditions just towards the west here, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is enough to kind of knock down some tree limbs, things like that. In fact, here we go. Did just get a report near downtown. This is just fresh in of a 14 mile per hour wind gust. So it's enough to toss some things around here, friends. We're not panicked, but definitely a bad time to be out there driving around on our roadways. I'm gonna just try to pull up a different camera here and see what it does look like. Oh my. All right. Just kind of looking around. This is so this looks like on 295. Yeah, right there on 295 west at Firestone, of course. I mean, visibility really significantly reduced. This is where we're looking at that 40, 50 mile per hour winds more than likely with this. I'm going to try to move a little bit further towards the east, though, so we can get a good view maybe of this kind of shelf cloud pushing on through. But it looks like a lot of our area already kind of getting... Let's go back to our tower camera and look towards. So right now I'm going to be looking towards this where this camera is. And yeah, you can still see it off in the distance there. Now I'll jump over to the 295. This is out near Orange Park. Heavy rains, obviously coming down with this out in that area too. So severe thunderstorm warning if you're just jumping in once again until 3:30 p.m. So we got a few more minutes on this one, well, 20 more minutes. But you also got a couple special marine warnings setting up just offshore too. So we got a few things going on with this right now. It's this whole line of moisture coming in from our south and west, kicking these showers. All right. Trying to do a few things, keep you informed, take a look at the radar as well here as keeping you posted so we can, not just take a look at pictures outside, but what exactly is going on with this. So once again, this is this overall flow coming in from our south and west with these severe storms. My concern here in the next 20, 30 minutes is maybe this severe thunderstorm warning extending further towards the south, because this is going to start to run into the sea breeze a little bit there. And you see right over the river, if you were watching about a half an hour ago, I was talking about that potential right along the river, some storms really starting to bubble up, and it looks like that is the case from Oak Leaf down through Orange Park, Mandarin area. You're going to start to see this in a minute. Let's zoom right in on this. And yeah, we had somebody watching from the Riverside area. Looks like it's just starting to pick up there for you too. Let's read a couple more of these. Carol says, live off Firestone. It's windy, really heavy rain there. Kelly says he got a 70-pound dog on her lap due to the thunder. Well, best of luck with that. I'm rooting for you. Went over Wonderwood about 10 minutes ago, and it looks nasty just north. Yeah, Wonderwood would be a good view of that storm cell just towards your north. And what we're talking about right there, Wonderwood is just if you're either coming from Mayport or Hannah Park if you're going over Wonderwood. But yeah, so that would be right about in this area here. And then looking north is this cell, which is now just approaching the Timucuan Preserve there and heading out towards Amelia Island. And that is just ahead of the real gusty stuff, which is back here towards our south and west. And we actually take a look at the velocity. Here we go. So we got a couple things going down. You got that cell just towards the north, which actually this one approaching Amelia Island's kicking. That's about 40-mile-per-hour winds potentially out of that. And then we got the one that's approaching downtown, and that's also estimated winds about 40 miles per hour in there. At one point, this was showing about 50 to 60, so maybe it's backed off a little bit. But in either scenario, I mean, it's a good storm. It's just rolling along here, and hopefully we don't get any damage. We don't get any downed trees on the highway like we did. You remember that? Was it earlier this week? That was due to high winds. We had downed trees out there on 295. So yeah, just now in Orange Park, Holly's jumping in on there. So thank you very much for jumping in, Holly. And yeah, I got a couple other people on here. So hey guys, thanks for stopping by. If you're curious, if you're watching an FCN Plus, you're curious where I'm reading a lot of these questions, comments from, mainly is Facebook. It looks like our stream for chatting is disabled on YouTube. So I'm just reading a couple of y'all on Facebook who are jumping in and hopefully giving you a heads up of what's happening out here across the First Coast with these storms. So let's go back and talk about this, the general overview. If you are coming on right now, meteorologist Robert Spena, thanks for watching here our stream on the severe weather, which is moving across the First Coast right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in place for another 10 minutes. Also looks like we have a special weather statement on another cell just towards in northwest of Lake City. That one putting out a lot of lightning. You can see that here towards the west of Jacksonville. Now, this is all attached to kind of this what we call a wake trough behind this tropical wave that pushed through here on Wednesday. Now it's off towards the Carolinas. It actually had a low chance of development at one point. That's not really the big issue. It is this moisture that's pumping in behind it. And what we've seen is that moisture, then we're combining that with a bit of the daytime heating. I mean, temperatures getting up into the 90s here this afternoon. In fact, let's take a look at our temperatures right now. Just give you an idea of what it feels like out at this point. For those areas that especially haven't seen the rain yet, temperatures, right there into the 90s. But where we have seen the rain is into Jacksonville, St. Simon's Island, over towards Lake City. You can see it's cooled down to the 70s, so a little bit more stable there. Looks like my camera just died again on me. I'm sorry, Toby. We're having all sorts of issues over here. Yeah, hey, it's all right. I'm sure people prefer just to listen. Hey, temperatures, though, in the 90s, though, that's where you have that area of instability, which is why if we go back to the radar here where we have that current severe thunderstorm warning, I'm a little not concerned, but just want to give you a heads up for areas just south of Duval, because this is rolling towards the east, but you still have all of those warmer temperatures south. Ooh, that's the wrong button. All those warmer temperatures out towards St. John's into Flagler, Putnam County. So I believe you have the heat, you have that sea breeze set up, and now you're going to have that westerly flow. And that is in those areas I just marked in yellow, the risk for that severe thunderstorm threat over the course of the next, 20, 30, 40 minutes. So if you are out there, maybe you're missing out on this current one, but there is some stuff kind of headed into your direction. So once again, severe thunderstorm warning in place until, another 7 minutes here from the Jacksonville National Weather Service, kind of giving you a heads up on this. Let's take a look around. I want to see what it looks like right near the river right now. So I'm going to pull up our camera because I have a feeling we're going to have some pretty good views out here. So this is going to be, here we go. This is crossing the Fuller Warren on I-295. So we're right near downtown here. Let's pop it up. Look at that. There we go. And obviously traffic just slowing right down there. That's a good view of this cell. So on the left side, you can actually see the St. Johns River. You can even see the rain curtain as that's coming in. Now, this is just moments away from pushing over downtown Jacksonville. I think with the issue we're going to see here, look at the traffic all backing up out ahead of this. It is dumping on the other side of the river right there. And in fact, I'm going to try to just bounce. Let's see if I can just jump over to the other side of the river here on, let's Let's see what it looks like at the 295 I-10 interchange, because that's only about a mile up. But I believe it's going to be really coming down. Yeah, see, already coming down, slick roads, obviously. So I think the point is, hey, if you're heading out on any of these roads right now, give yourself a few extra minutes. I can even hear the thunder here over downtown Jacksonville. Once again, this is a severe thunderstorm warned area from the Jacksonville National Weather Service. Goes for about another 5 minutes. They have this specific one in place. Just been watching this. Cecil actually had a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust reported out of this. Yeah, so we're watching for some gusty conditions. I wouldn't be surprised if this picks up right over downtown in the next few moments here. While we're watching that, jump over to radar real quick. I'll come back to that shot as it really picks up in the next few minutes. Just for those that are jumping on right now, there's your severe thunderstorm warning. But, this is kind of getting spreaded out, so I think that core of those gusty conditions kind of are moving away from that center. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get some more warnings south of Jacksonville. And then you're continuing to watch these lines that are now just pushed over Fernandina Beach. A lot of lightning out of that one. I seen somebody saying it was just picking up there a second ago. And then, of course, this overall flow over downtown Jacksonville right now, which, once again, this is the live look out on 295. So there you go. Traffic coming right to a standstill for obvious reasons, just like you're on this side of the bridge here that's almost whiteout conditions. While we're watching this, I'm going to read through a couple more of your questions here. Saying Putnam County, that's near me, Putnam County. Putnam County, you're going to get that circle I just drew a second ago. Patricia's jumping on here. I believe that you're going to get some storms kind of firing up in the southern extent of this. Let's see. Catherine saying the wind's blowing out there in Normandy. Sarah Taylor said we had a good storm a while ago in Waycross. And the part of the same line. It just started off a little bit further towards the north, and now all this is moving south. And what we're getting is kind of the afternoon heat, obviously, but that interacting with a bit of the sea breeze. Waycross, you're going to be stable now for the rest of the day just because those storms have moved already over for you. And the temperatures cooled off relatively. Still into the 80s, but relative cool off. You're not into the mid-90s like we have and for some areas south of Jacksonville. Holly saying it's raining out there in Orange Park. And so thanks, guys. And if you're just jumping onto the stream, just let me know where you're watching from. Give me an idea of what your current conditions are looking like at this time, too, as we monitor this severe thunderstorm warning, which has still got 3 more minutes on it. So we're going to keep a track on this guy as it marches over Jacksonville and out towards our coast. And it might get extended. If it does get anything, I think it's going to get extended south just along the St. Johns River here, right along the Bucknam Bridge and heading out towards Mandarin. I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of gets extended in that direction, just because that's where we're kind of seeing some of that weather right now. Just looking at a couple different angles on the radar here. And also, you know what I want to do? I want to pull up the hail. I can hear it coming down outside right now. So let's pull up the hail product here. Just see if there's anything. Of course, the icons are like this big on it, so it's going to take me a minute. Oh, here it is. All right, let's pull up our hail product, get an idea. Because sometimes with these storms, now I think our freezing level's fairly high up. Sometimes if they're high enough, you might get some... Good. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like we got very much in the form of hail out there, which is good news. So primarily it's, the winds. If we had some hail, we'd really have to be worried about the wind threat as well. Taking a look at the side view, in fact, on this specific storm moving over downtown right now, we got some tops upwards of 25, 30,000 feet. Large hail, we would definitely need to be up closer to 40, 45,000 feet. So if we get anything, it would be on the smaller side. This is borderline right with the freezing point. So that's just a little side angle. That's what we'd use here for our radar when you kind of cut through and get the entire view of what the side of the cloud looks like here. So it does look like this storm over Jacksonville and kind of falling apart a little bit. It's weakening. So here at 3:30, that severe thunderstorm warning is going to expire. We'll stay on just for a few more minutes as long as that's okay with Toby, who's running the stream behind us here. A few more minutes after the severe thunderstorm kind of expires here, Toby?
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. And then, it will probably just leave this stream up here for you so you can monitor on the radar. And don't forget, if you have the First Coast News app, we have a radar on there too that you can kind of track and follow along. But it does look like the general, like, center of this storm is spread it out a little bit. So we still got a storm, we still got rain, we still got lightning, we still got all that good stuff. But the winds up in over 56 miles per hour, probably not there anymore. But I still am a little concerned also about the fact that as this moves towards the east, it is going to collide with that sea breeze. So you can continue to get spin ups. With anything rotating. So see this color that just kind of encompassed all of Duval and down towards St. Johns County. So this is what happened. I expected any warning to be extended towards the south as well as extended out. The severe thunderstorm warning has been expired here at 3:30. There you go. Now we have a special weather statement. So that's like one level below a severe thunderstorm warning, but it's still enough where, we could see a little bit of damage here. This moving towards the east at 25 miles per hour, 40 mile per hour winds, enough to sufficiently launch your untethered trampoline or ruin your boat day or anything like that. Not a good driving weather. And I mean, we can see that obviously with our camera we were just watching a moment ago towards downtown. In fact, let's take a look over the St. Johns River at the Fuller Warren Bridge. This is what it looks like out there at this current moment. So it may not be severe, but I mean, not the most pleasant conditions to be driving around in. I'm going to read a couple of your questions. Pippa says, I miss Tim. I miss Tim too. He's only been gone for a week though, but we all do miss him. So and I will never say I'm going to replace Tim Deegan by any means. I am just following along in his shadow. So Kelly asked a very good question. Once these storms pass, will the skies clear back up and the temps warm back up? So let's go back to the satellite and radar picture of the broader view of things, because I don't think so. The main reason is because the atmosphere is so humid that we got a lot of cells here that are kind of just running into each other. The cloud cover, the cirrus blow-off is spreading across our entire area. So once one goes down, we have another one popping up. We have a lot of cloud cover. So I don't think we're going to get sunshine per se after these move by. We'll probably get a lot of cloud cover. It more than likely make for a decent sunset because we'll more than likely have a lot of mid to upper level clouds after these storms start to wind down. But that's a really good question here with that pushing on by. So I don't anticipate the sun to really jump back out and for us to exceptionally warm back up through this afternoon. In fact, I mean, temperatures already getting into the 70s to 80s here, and I expect to stay in the 80s, at least in Jacksonville, for the rest of the day. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the camera here. Tomi just going.
Overheating.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's hot in here. Hey, then we take. Hooray! Thank you very much. So let's take a look. So this is your line, your storm that we had that severe thunderstorm warning. Now just moving over downtown Jacksonville, has been downgraded to a special weather statement, but still indicating about 40 mile per hour winds potentially with this one. So enough to toss some things around. Let's pull back up our camera here. I'm going to move it to somewhere else so we can get a good idea. So that's right over Fuller Warren. Wonder how my tower cam is looking. Ooh, let's go to this one. Remember how I pointed this towards the south and east? Southwest a few moments ago, knew that's where the storms were going to be coming from, and this is our tower. That's a good shot right there. This is the type of one I would sit and just roll on and get a good time lapse out of it, because you got that whole flow. And there's so much happening here. So we got that rain shaft. Rain shaft is pushing air down and out. So that's why we have our gust front, and out ahead of this rain shaft, so basically just in the immediate foreground, is where you are seeing that potential for the 30, 40 mile per hour winds with this one as it pushes through. So yeah, that's a good shot. And Christine just said, and right out of San Marco, which is kind of almost on the right side of your camera right there. So thanks you very much, Christine, for jumping in, saying that it's whipping up there. I don't know what the technical wind speed of whipping up is, but it's doing it. And Debbie says, hey, you're doing a great job. Thanks. Hey, Debbie. I appreciate that. And thank you so much. It's one of those, we like to geek out and track this severe weather together, and that's why we come on these streams here. Hopefully we're informing some of y'all while yeah, keeping you posted here and at least somewhat entertained, I suppose. If you're jumping on right now, once again, we had a severe thunderstorm warning. That's come down to a special weather statement, which over Duval County, this is looking from our tower camera, which is just around Southside Boulevard, looking out towards the south and east, and you can just really see that rain shaft building in. This Pacific cell being estimated on radar about 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. I've actually seen a report about 48 miles per hour. NAS Jax, in fact, which is almost dead center in this screen. Naval Air Station Jacksonville, which is just north of the Bucknam Bridge as well. They just got a 46 mile per hour wind gust with this one. So not severe, but enough to, that's nothing to laugh at. I used to actually work at Naval Air Station Jacksonville, manning the weather station there and the forecast and everything for them. So yeah, old stomping ground. So that's look towards downtown Jacksonville, and this is out towards the Bucknam, and yeah, heading towards San Jose Boulevard, just about to cross US 1 here and 95. And let's change our camera angle up a little bit. We're gonna go down towards that area, towards where we did just have. Hold on, just trying to pull up my camera. Here we go. That wind report. Oh my. All right. Okay, well, I think I'll just move it over towards 95. So right kind of in the middle of your screen, I'm going to pull up a camera out in that area, see how the traffic is doing on 95, because I assume it's not doing very well right now as this is kicking overhead. Here we go. That is on my end. I don't know why that just turned black. Let's try to load it up one more time. I bet you that camera just got knocked out. Oh, goodness. Let's try this at a different angle. Oh, it's on my end. Let's try this one more time. Pull up that camera. And, yeah, I wonder if the traffic camera just went down. Let's go back to our radar, and I'll try to see if I can remedy that. But the point is, moving right over 95 right now. Zoom right in. Yeah, oof, there you go. There's your special weather statement. As this continues to move off towards our east here. One more time, I'm going to read a couple of your comments. Very dark in the Durbin Park area. San Marcos kicking through. Kelly says lots of downpours in that shot. Yeah. Storming in White Springs and Lake City area. Yeah, we were just actually, you know what? Good thing you bring that up because we were talking about that a few moments ago. How in Lake City actually had a special weather statement just towards your north and west. Because, of course, I am focusing in on the Jacksonville area. But look at that cell. That's a pretty nasty one out here. Special weather statement just north of Lake City. And let's see if the velocity shows anything interesting. Oh my, okay. That is interesting. So that would indicate broad rotation. That would be I wish, this is one of those times where I wish I had another Met in here with me to kind of look this over and say, hey, what's going? Do you see what I see? Okay, this is gonna bounce back. We'll bounce. But for who just rode in from Lake City, yeah, that's a pretty decent little storm, and almost like a little. I'm not gonna say it has a hook echo on it, but it does have a little nudge on the back side of it. That is quite interesting. I want to see what the National Weather Service is saying on that right now. I don't have anything just yet, but we'll keep an eye on that one. Thank you very much for chiming in out of Lake City, and we'll keep you posted on this, because that looks like just south of White Springs, crossing I-75 right now, right there. And I know over downtown we got some pretty rough weather going on here too. I wonder if I can pull up the camera out of that, though, just over I-75, where this is crossing right now. Let's see. Okay. It looks pretty rough. Let's hope my camera is working now. This is over I-75, just northwest of Lake City at White Springs area. Oh, come on. Why is that channel? This isn't working at all. That is interesting. All right, let me go back to the radar here. I don't know why my traffic camera isn't. If you can go back to full screen and just go back to the radar while I kind of work on this. I got the radar up. I just got to figure something out here. Thank you. Because my traffic link isn't working, so I want to see if any of the other ones are. Okay, the screen is black. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. That one's working. So this is why I have backups, and I learned how to troubleshoot sometimes and fix this. So that's on I-75 right over that, just west of White Springs. I mean, obviously coming down. Looks like actually a lot of traffic for that specific area of this cell. It has a special weather statement on it, but it almost looks like a little rotation on radar here. So yeah, that would be crossing right about where this camera is right now. Let's see if I can change it up, just go up a little bit further south of that cell. Let me check something. All right. Okay, so a little bit further south, not quite as bad, but it's heading in that direction. So if you are in Lake City, let me know. I'm going to keep an eye on this one here for you. Looks like it's passing just north of Lake City along I-75 out of White Springs area there. Pretty decent little cell. But let's bounce back, of course, over towards Jacksonville, where we have this storm pushing through. And actually, it looks like on radar, just crossing out towards the Arlington area, wind's starting to pick up. Let's look at this right here. 30, 40 miles per hour. Yeah, because this special weather statement, that cell looks like it's starting to almost revigorate just a little bit, running up the St. Johns River. Got a lot of heavy rainfall with this one. So if you're in Arlington, but even heading out towards Jacksonville Beach, all the way down towards Ponte Vedra, it's going to be rolling into your area here in just the next few minutes. Let's just bounce over to that camera real quick. I want to actually bounce over towards that. Remember we were on that tower cam a second ago and we were watching this thing come in? Let's see what it looks like now over that tower cam. And I think we'll be wrapping this up soon too. Once this line kind of gets a little bit closer out towards the coast, I could just talk all day, but obviously this is already moving overhead. So hopefully you are inside dry and you were kind of warned out ahead of this. But yeah, that's a look at our tower cam right now. Obviously shaking in the wind there and the storm, which is potentially producing some 20 to 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, I should say. So. Yeah, it's enough to toss some things around, but not quite severe thunderstorm warned. I'm going to pull up this camera a little bit further towards the east. So let's go out to Jack's Beach or any of those areas out here. I have a feeling this is going to be running right up over you in just the next few minutes too. All right, we'll pull up the camera at Neptune Beach. So yeah, we're just going to continue to monitor this. Of course, the stream will be live as we watch this thing move out towards Arlington and offshore. We're also watching this sail back towards the west over the Lake City area. Plenty of lightning with that, passing just north of Lake City. Special weather statement on that. I did see some weak rotation, so I'm going to keep an eye on that one behind the scenes. And if you're over Jacksonville, of course, we're going to continue to monitor this thing because we got a special weather statement, enough to definitely it's going to make for some sloppy conditions throughout your evening commute. And I expect still some more on and off showers over the course of the next few hours before things do gradually taper off as we get closer to sunset. So I'm going to read through the questions just one more time here. Just started in Mayport. Deborah says, thanks very much for chiming in, Deborah. We were watching that line heading out there. So now that it's starting in Mayport, we'll be starting in Atlantic Beach, Jack's Beach in the next few minutes behind that. Storming in White Springs, Lake City area. Thank you very much, Tracy. We were just talking about you. Bad storms just came through Lawty. Yeah, some of those areas. Actually, I see you just on the back side of it right now. And D. Smith says, Zoo Parkway storming cats and dogs. Yeah. So pretty much right on time in this cell, kind of pushing right over downtown Jacksonville at this moment. So thank you very much for everybody jumping in and let me know. This actually, as this collides, I do want to just point this out real quick. As this is hitting the river, just east of Fernandina and Amelia Island. Looks like this is really kicking off some lightning. I wouldn't be surprised, as we've seen with that cell east of St. Simon's Island. I'm going to pull up the velocity on this real quick. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see maybe some little spin-ups due to the friction as that goes out over the water there. That would be interesting. Maybe some water spout action, but I don't see anything like that behind that overland. It's more of just this gust front, which is now passing right over 295 right now. heading out towards Mayport. And you can see right, those darker areas in the red, just over 295. That's kind of where our gust front is at this moment. So that's where you're going to be looking at those higher winds kind of kicking through over the next few minutes. So want to keep an eye on that. I'll be wrapping up here in just a minute. And keep you guys posted. Yeah, I guess since real quick, I'll give you just a quick look at the forecast for the rest of the day if you're jumping on here, and then I have to start getting ready for the 5 o'clock show as well, so can't be doing this all day. But let's talk about the forecast here, because we're still going to be looking at a few of these storms over the next few hours. We still have that weather impact alert in place till 6 o'clock this evening because of those storms. But as we go ahead through tonight, it's a muggy, it's a humid night on tap, and heading into tomorrow and really the weekend for that matter. Trying to pull up our 7-day real quick here. I don't anticipate a weather impact alert type days. We're really just getting into that summer weather pattern. And what I mean by that for the First Coast is, what is going on here? Well, hopefully that loads up. That's a little funky. There we go. Graphics, right? Hopefully, when we talk about summer weather pattern, is we're getting those afternoon showers about every day. We get that chance of some storms starting to build in with that daytime heating. Today, they were a bit more widespread because we had that tropical wave move through. But as we look ahead through the weekend and the next week, we start to see more of these general daytime heating type days where we get those temperatures up to the 90s, you get that sea breeze, and even just a little bit of instability helps create those afternoon storms. Now, we don't think that is enough for a weather impact alert. We don't really want to hype daily afternoon thunderstorms, but just keep that in mind that, that is going to be a potential as we head through next week. Today, though, they are a bit more widespread, and obviously you can see that on radar as we have this general flow coming in from the southwest, following behind that little tropical wave that pushed through off our east coast yesterday. So we have that general flow helping to kick up these scattered storms across our area. And right now, yeah, plenty of lightning with the cell just pushed east of Fernandina. Got that storm now pushing over Arlington, over towards south side. And eventually, here into St. Johns County, you're going to be looking at this kind of hitting up. And I expect this really to flare up around St. Johns County along our coastal areas as it butts into the sea breeze there. But we did have a severe thunderstorm warning in place for a bit. Now that has been dropped down to a special weather statement. It is not a severe thunderstorm, but still enough to make for a bad day here if you are anywhere out driving around or maybe at the beach like we see here. This is a live look at Neptune Beach on the left side of the screen. You can see kind of that storm now pushing off of the coast there. So one more time, just check over a comment. Just thanks you very much for everybody who jumped in on our Facebook, YouTube, and here on First Coast News Plus watching this. Toby, is this a good time to maybe shut down or go back to programming? Yeah? Okay, all right. So we will be live here in an hour at First Coast News at 5. Of course, continuing to track these storms here with you. So stay dry, stay safe out there. Thanks for stopping by.